Welcome to the recap of the White Sox and their loss against the Cincinnati Reds, 5-3. I'm Jonathan Hood, and from my buddy David Kaplan, here's our recap of game number 2 between the Sox and the Reds. So the good news is that the White Sox really did, I thought, a really good job against the starter, Lodolo, for the Reds, because they fouled off a lot of pitches. They got on base. I thought their approach was really good, just to take some pitches and wear the starter down. The bad news is once the starter left, the bullpen just shut down the White Sox offense. That really was the ball game right there. Sox had some golden opportunities to score, and they were able to get that done early in the game, but the offense just kind of fizzled out toward the end. Clevenger was a starter for the Chicago White Sox. I thought he was okay. Anytime I see the 4th and 5th starter out there for the White Sox, whatever you can get from those guys is gravy. I do like that Ethan Katz did some coaching. It was caught on television where he's telling Clevenger, hey man, just don't let Jonathan India get these running leads to steal bases. I understand that with the bigger bases, and you can only throw over a couple times to check the runners, that we're going to have more stolen bases in 2023. Doesn't mean you just can't take a look. Hey, you have a runner there. Just take a look, if nothing else. Watch your clock and then take a look at the runner. India had 2 stolen bases, and he really was the hero for the Reds in this game. Let me see. He had a double, had a walk, 2 stolen bases I talked about, and also scored 3 runs. Friedel also coming through with a home run as well. That ballpark, that's a bandbox, man. Since 2013, the Great American Ballpark in Cincinnati has the most home runs in the big leagues. So everyone hits home runs out of that ballpark. Hats off to Luis Robert. He was able to do well once again. I had a double. I was hit by a pitch twice, scored a run, 2 for 2 on the day, so that was really good. And by the way, we found out news. Another White Sox player is hurt and water is wet. And this time it is Eloy Jimenez. So we found this out before the game. Appendectomy is probably going to be out 4 to 6 weeks. So once again, the White Sox will need someone else to replace Eloy in the lineup. He just can't stay healthy. It's just amazing. This team is so snake-bitten and so unhealthy that they can never get into a rhythm. Hey, Tim Anderson, the season started. Anytime that you want to get on base and be a catalyst, that would be fine too, by the way. As we all know, when Anderson gets on, stealing bases, he is the straw that stirs the drink for this White Sox team. Hopefully he can get back on track as well. So the White Sox will play Cincinnati in the rubber match. We'll see what happens in Game 3. I think the Sox can be able to take this series, but hats off to the Reds and their bullpen. 1, 2, they had just enough offense to beat the White Sox. And then got to figure out how to replace the power from Eloy Jimenez. That's the recap for the White Sox. Let's see what happens in Game 3 on Sunday. I'm looking forward to it. Win the series and then move on to the next one. I'm Jonathan Hood, and for David Kaplan, that's our White Sox recap right here on YouTube. Take that.